There are two video games that are contenders for the first video game I ever played. There's this one that frustrated me so fucking much as a kid, and then there's this one that fucking floored my child mind. Today, let's check out the game that was potentially the first video game I ever played, but it's most surely the first good video game that I ever played. Alright, so a little background here. SpiderMan was released in 2000, and it was released on the PlayStation 1, on the Nintendo 64, and as well as the PC. It was developed by Neversoft, and after watching this awesome thing right here, you're never going to forget it. As a child, I thought that this logo animation was freaking awesome, but now that I'm an adult, I think that it's even more awesomer, especially since at the time it was rated E for everyone. This is a game that was seen fit for play for young children like me in the year 2000, and even though it was quote unquote rated E for everyone, Neversoft kept their nail through the eye logo in the game and on the fucking cover. Neversoft is a freaking boss! Another interesting tidbit is that the game used Tony Hawk's Pro Skater game engine, and if you look around in the game, you will see advertising for Tony Hawk. Now, just like how the Batman Arkham series is its own world, even though it does have voice actors from the Batman animated series, Spider-Man is its own world, even though it does feature voice actors from the Spider-Man animated series. Also, the game gained massive popularity, and departing from it, it also had 3 separate sequels. Yes, you heard me right. From the popularity of just one Spider-Man video game, shot out like a web, 3 separate, like alternating sequels. I don't, like how? And now to give some backstory on me, this game is one of the first, if not the first, video game I have ever played. It is either this game or A Bug's Life. And as much as I would love to say that this game was the first game I played, I just don't know. Also, when I was playing this game as a kid, I didn't have a memory card. Like, my parents were kind enough to give me a PlayStation 1, but unfortunately they didn't have the knowledge that they also had to get this little doohickey right here. In my parents' defense though, before this console generation that I'm talking about, you know, the PlayStation, Nintendo 64, the Sega Dreamcast, memory cards weren't really a thing. Yes, they were on the rise, yes, they were being conceptualized, yes, you could put stuff like on discs, but they weren't really a thing. Before this, if you wanted to pick up where you left off, you'd have to enter a password or save your data on a little battery. And let me tell you, having to replace the battery within my Game Boy Pokemon games several times now, I am glad that we got rid of that shit, and now it just goes directly on the fucking card. And that's all because when that battery dies, so too does your saved data. It doesn't make me happy. Anyway, continuing my background on the game, I have played this game many times, many of which were right from the beginning because of my lack of memory card as a child. Anyway, when I was a kid though, in my first home, there came a day where I became fed up with not getting the whole story. I kept having to restart over and over and over again because I just couldn't save. So finally, I dedicated all my time for the one purpose of finally beating the game. It took a whole day, and the best of my child senses, and the best of my hand-eye coordination. But I'm happy to say that I succeeded. Full disclosure, I like this game. I love this game. That's why I keep coming back to it. That's why I want to talk about it today. I like it despite its flaws. But now, I want to take a more critical look. So, let's do that. So anyway, what is the story here? The story is that Spider-Man, aka our good boy Peter Parker, gets framed for a crime that he didn't commit. And we gotta find out who framed him. The crime happened at the showing by Dr. Octavius, you know, Dr. Octopus. Apparently he's reformed and he's a good guy. Yeah, right. After the heist, there's also some shadowy figures, which obviously one of them is Dr. Otto Octavius. They release this yellow gas in the city, and at the same time all this is going on, a bank is being robbed. The game has just started, and there's already a ton of fucking shit going on. But that's a good thing here. There's a lot of shit here, a lot of stuff on our plate, and that's good. There's a good overarching story with Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man, aka the player, being screwed over and framed. And there's also a lot of other interesting segments. And speaking of which, what are those interesting segments? The first segment, as I spoke of earlier, is the Bank Heist. In the Bank Heist level, there are these bad guys called the Jade Syndicate that are attempting to rob the bank. And when I say the bank, I really mean the bank. The second segment is the Scorpion's assault on Jonah Jameson. Scorpion is basically going to go kill Jonah, Peter Parker's boss, and we gotta save him. The third segment is the escape from the police. In this segment, the police are hunting us down from the crime we didn't commit, and of course, we gotta escape from them. The fourth segment is the rampage of Rhino. In this segment, it is just one level, and we will have to fight and defeat the Rhino as he charges at us. The fifth segment is Spider-Man versus Venom. Going back to the beginning of the game, the fake Spider-Man destroyed Eddie Brock's camera, thus causing him to go into distress from the possibility of Jonah Jameson ruining his cameraman career. Venom then takes over his body, and while in control, he kidnaps Peter Parker's wife, Mary Jane. As Spider-Man, you will have to chase after Venom on rooftop to rooftop, and even within the sewers in order to save Mary Jane. Now going over to the sixth segment, this segment is the discovery of the symbiote invasion. We will have to fight our way down the Daily Bugle to destroy the symbiote generators, finally confront the fake Spider-Man, and learn the true purpose behind the heists and yellow gas. The seventh segment is the final segment, and that is the exploration of the main baddie's secret lair, some awesome boss battles, and ultimately, our victory. When I told you that this game puts a lot on your plate, I meant it. This game gives you a lot of fucking stuff to do. And now, after talking about that awesome fun stuff that you get to do, let's take a deeper look, starting with the first segment, the Bank Heist. We first start out on the outside of the bank, and we get to fight some bad guys, climb walls, perform Spider-Man's signature web slinging, and to talk with Black Cat. Black Cat is here to pretty much give you tutorial advice, and for some reason the camera seems to really want to see Black Cat from behind. I could be wrong here, but it does seem very intentional. On the inside of the bank, we will have to beat up some baddies, save some hostages, and figure out how to take care of an active bomb. It is fun to beat up the baddies, and they can be very easily taken down with your webs. The hostages all look the same though, and they can be free by taking out these baddies, or in one case pushing a button. Eventually though, we get to the bomb, and when we arrive to the bomb, the countdown gets started. You can move the bomb slowly, like this, one step at a time, or you can throw it, but that will also speed up the countdown. Now, what do you think we are supposed to do with this bomb? Again, we can't really throw it outside the building. That could probably damage property or potentially even kill people on the outside. And even if we could throw it, we can't really throw it that far. I don't imagine us being able to use our webs to carry it as we web sing away. And even if we did, with the amount of time we have left, it just doesn't seem just plausible that we're going to be able to get to somewhere. So again, with the situation we're in, what do you think that we are going to do with the bomb? Well, we put the bomb in the safe with all this money. Unfortunately, we can't take the money out of the safe to prevent the destruction of basically New York's economy, but we do stop the bomb and save the day.
Not this time, guys.
So that is the end of the Bank Heist segment, and I know it's just the first segment, but out of all of them, having played this game multiple times, the Bank Heist segment is my favorite. We get to web swing around, we get to climb buildings, we get to stealthily take down enemies, and we get to stop a bomb. It's freaking awesome. Now let's take a look at the next segment. That segment being the Scorpion's assault on J. Jonah Jameson.